Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Morning Dew, daily events worldwide, and we are on June 7th, 2021, and welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Dew, where we look at space weather, world weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, and anything else affecting humanity, disasters as they happen. Looking here at 304 angstroms the last 48 hours on the sun. Do have that northern cresting small sunspot region. Doesn't look too stable at all, but we could have some cresting here on the southern as well. Looking outgoing, active sunspot there, firing off a couple minor events. Having a look here at the multi-spectrum. You see that small CME that did eject on its way to Mercury and a little bit of us. Most likely will go under the planet though. Looking here, 511 angstroms, no coronal holes to talk about. This one is departing, and we are seeing the effects right now and will through tomorrow as well. Having a look here, a solar X-ray flux seems a bit elevated, and geomagnetic activity is slightly elevated as well, just under G1 for tomorrow. Real-time solar wind, we are seeing the coronal hole stream now. We're sitting at about 504 kilometers per second from a steady stream 320 yesterday. We are jacked up today at 500 kilometers per second. Also pretty erratic north and south polarities. Phi angle flipping quite a bit. Having a look here, LASCO 2 and 3. No major changes from yesterday's update. Looking here at ISWA, space prediction spiral. You can see that CME changed a little bit going through Mercury, and it looks like it will just graze. And here it shows the Mercury retrograde going in between the sun on the right, the yellow dot, Earth and the sun. Schumann resonance for today, a power of 47. Quality of 7.8. Quite a spike there. Highly energetic. Now let's have a look at earthquakes the last 24 hours. Most recent being the 4.1 here in Afghanistan at a 205 kilometer depth. As well, Somalia seeing a 4.5 earthquake today at a 10 kilometer depth. Greece rocking a 4.4. Down into the Scotia Plate here, Mid-Atlantic Ridge, 5.0 earthquake, and as well a 4.7 South Sandwich Islands. That's right by the Michael volcano. Lonely earthquake to report here today, a 4.1 in Taltal, Chile, 230 kilometer depth. As well, Costa Rica seeing a 4.4, 30 kilometer depth. Sizable earthquakes here. The Valley, Anguilla, 4.1 earthquake, or 4.6 earthquake. Also saw 4.4, so very active in that subduction zone today. 2.7 reported in Texas. White City, New Mexico, 2.6. And then we're still seeing all of these earthquakes through the Salton Sea in Calipatria. Largest today being a 4.1. Also, West Bishop, California, 2.7 and 3.2. That's a bit concerning. Now, this is a volcanic table shelf. Round Valley, Long Valley, Mammoth Mountains. Just going to give you a quick look here on exactly where it is. The volcanic tableland. Right by the Chalk Bluff. And these have been increasing over the past 24 hours. There hasn't been any earthquakes here for a month now. This is the last month. So yeah, definitely some action moving up into the Mammoth Lakes, up into Mono. Having a quick look here at the swarm over Salton Sea, sitting at 1,024 since it started. And just 153 earthquakes today throughout the Salton Sea. So I'd say the swarm is still going and growing. Over to Alaska here, seeing minor earthquakes today. 3.4, as well 3.8 here at 2 Station, Alaska. 4.4 here, Kushiro, Japan, 61 kilometer depth. Quiet throughout Japan today. 4.7, Marianas Trench. That's the deepest earthquake of the day. And then Philippines still seeing the earthquakes today. Large one today, 5.1, 4.7, as well 4.6, Indonesia. Lots of activity through Indonesia and the Philippines today, 5.3. As well, 4.1 there. And then a rare 4.5 earthquake here in Nullagreen, northwest Australia. And that's right by that big system heading into the coastline. Largest earthquake today, or the last 24 hours, 5.7 there, reported last night. And that's the last 24 hours for earthquakes. Swarm still continues, but not much has changed since yesterday. No major earthquakes to talk about today. Having a look at the last 7 days for earthquakes. Increased activity here up into the Indian Plate, Eurasia Plate, and as well ongoing situation through Philippines, Indonesia. Deep earthquakes coming back to Kermadec. And then continuing action across the North American Plate. Heads up. Still waiting for a big one here. Having a look at the Pacific Disaster Center, showing today some tornado warnings through Denver and Boulder, Colorado, as well winter storm conditions through the foothills of Alberta, higher elevations receiving quite a bit of snow. Most of it was rain though, and strong winds, that's for sure. And we do have some fires to talk about today as well. Mesa, and as well Mammoth, Utah, Mammoth Fire, Garfield County, Madera County, the Buck Fire, California. So we've already got wildfire situation kicking up just before a pretty big system is going to be coming in to amplify up those Santa Ana winds. Having a look here, most recent volcanoes to update: Reventador, Nevados de Chilian, Dacono, Fuego, Niragongo, Sabancaya, Suwastanejima in Japan, Karamiski, Sangay, Sinabung, Simeru, Ibu, Kerinci, Ebuko, and Etna. So pretty active day for updates on volcanoes today. Having a look around the world, no major weather systems to talk about, no typhoons, no cyclones, storms through India and as well Malaysia with those heavy rains that are happening now. 5-day forecast shows it getting worse here. So heads up, my friends and family through India, Malaysia. Also got some storms being reported here in northwestern Italy and as well northeastern Greece. That big low still hanging around. Let's have a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by MeteorEarth and, of course, daily events worldwide. Morning dew. Starting out here, home base, Calgary, Alberta, as we did have some pretty wicked north winds today as that system, the Alberta Clipper, formed and will be moving northward. Brought snow to parts of Banff and Jasper, strong winds to Calgary, southern Alberta, and watch for this big low to come in from the west coast and bring in some more moisture throughout the week. So watch for thunderstorms to form through Saskatchewan, Manitoba this week, and as well through northern Ontario as things heat up across the country. As well have that continuing low coming out of Texas. It's going to take its time heading towards Ontario, stall out, and then join forces, head out to the Atlantic. So it should be quite a stormy forecast for the East Coast, the Atlantic, and still no hurricanes to talk about, no tropical depressions, which is kind of strange. Heads up, that could be a very big low developing in the long-range forecast here. Stay tuned to the D.E.W because we know how easily this forecast can change, especially when we're being bombarded by 500 kilometer per second solar winds. Overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, big high-pressure ridge hanging around, keeping things dry for Ireland and the United Kingdom and most of Western Europe as that warm air keeps fueling in, and it's going to fuel up these thunderstorms with that large low moving eastward through Eastern Europe. Moving westward through Eastern Europe. Overlooking Malaysia, Southeast Asia. Definitely going to be watching this situation developing through the border with India and Malaysia. Long range shows a pretty intense and large, lots of moisture associated low. So heads up, Malaysia, India, and as well the Philippines. Daily evaporation rains continue throughout Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, and heavy rains through the Philippines this week as that low moves through. Luckily, it didn't turn into a tropical depression, but it could still in the long range. Overlooking Australia, not much has changed since yesterday's forecast. You still have a large low encroaching on the west coast, heading into Perth, and another large low affecting you guys on the east side of Australia. And that's going to bring in some very cool temperatures to a lot of southeastern parts of Australia. Wouldn't doubt it if you break some records. Let me know in the comments section if you're watching and you're breaking records down there. Overlooking New Zealand, high pressure ridge until about Friday, Saturday, and then watch for more rain to move in. No major weather systems to talk about through the Pacific, so nothing changing for Hawaii, Hawaiian Islands. Big low heading into BC and Washington. Going to bring quite a bit of moisture and hopefully some warmer temperatures. Overlooking Central America, heavy rains through Mexico, Nicaragua, and as well coastal regions, Panama. Colder temperatures, higher elevations being reported throughout Chile and Peru. Watch for a system here to develop on the border with Brazil and Argentina later in the week. Could bring some extreme weather. And as well, observing this massive low that's going to be affecting southern Argentina over the coming days. Should bring quite a bit of snow and rain towards that region. Overlooking Africa, no major weather systems affecting you either. No major changes since yesterday. You could be dealing with this encroaching low in the long-range forecast. Stay tuned to the D.E.W for the daily forecasts. Going to leave you here looking at the southern hemisphere versus the northern, pointing out the big players in both poles. Big lows, strong lows developing across the planet. Heads up, my friends and family. And please share this with your friends and family from around the world, as we are embarking on quite possibly the new mini ice age. And it doesn't surprise me when 45 kilometers west of me, it's dropped 45 centimeters of snow. Higher elevations, mind you, but it's June 8th, June 7th. So thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please hit that like button. Stay aware and prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your morning dew. Bye-bye. today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.